Yes, sir.
Yes, Charlamagne the God.
Andrew Schulz.
We are the Brilliant Idiots, back for another week of Brilliant Idiotness. And today's podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Introducing design intelligence from Squarespace, combining 2 decades of industry-leading design expertise with cutting-edge AI technology to unlock your strongest creative potential. Squarespace Payments is the easiest way to manage your payments in one place with Squarespace. Onboarding is fast and simple. Get started in just a few clicks and start receiving payments right away. And get discovered fast with integrated SEO tools. Every Squarespace website is optimized to be indexed with meta descriptions, an auto-generated sitemap, and more. So you show up more often to more people in global search engine results. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/idiots to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/idiots to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Let's start the show. Hezekiah Walker.
What's up?
How the week been, bruh?
Man, incredible, bro. I was so happy about that space flight, man. I've been dreaming for this day.
What?
When these women, the all-female space crew.
Okay.
I've been dreaming about this day.
I thought they was trying to get Gayle out of here because of what she threw out there last week when she let that effortry word, that fraggle maggotry word go.
Now you know why she did it.
I was like, you know what? People are making noise, but they a little bit too quiet. I'm like, you know what? They trying to get Miss King out of here.
Here's the thing. If you thought you were going to die next week, wouldn't you just say anything?
That's a good point. Absolutely.
You roll the dice.
Absolutely.
You think I'm going to die?
Absolutely.
Listen, this is Gayle King, right? There's no way she actually thought that ship was coming back.
Damn.
No?
I mean, it did cross my mind. It did cross my mind.
If I'm going in a ship, I'm like, the only movies I've ever seen about space, the ship blows up.
And especially, you know, in this era where it seems like everything in the sky is coming down, I was like, but then I was like,
Nah, bro, I'm almost 100%. So I'm going out on a bang, bro. I'm going to say whatever words I want to say.
I think she would let more fly than that. That's a big one,
That's a
big one. I mean, when you are...
What else can she say?
Especially as a black person.
She could say all the other ones.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There's only one word.
That was a good... And maybe...
She's a woman. Women
what
can
does she
say...
call CBS the broadcasting system?
Nothing. Light work.
Light work.
But when you draw geometry like that...
What if she just said the CBS logo was just a cunt sideways?
I mean, listen, it
what
might
if she
be...
just said that? It's
it
not
might
an eye
be
open.
good.
Yeah.
It's a different slit. It might be good, but it's not as good as geometry.
Yeah, that fraggle maggotry was crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
It was wild.
I don't know why everybody was
That's why she was pissed that she came back. Did you see her walking off walking down the thing?
I mean, listen, that's when them nerves kick in. When you finally think to yourself, I'm going to fucking space. Somebody asked me that. Would you go to space? I'm like, no.
Hell no.
The only person I ever known that wanted to go to space.
Duval.
That's it. I haven't even seen Lil Duval say much about this flight. That's how I know he mad.
Man.
Duval got an opinion about everything. I ain't seen him comment on the Blue Origin space flight at all.
Do you believe they even went? You know, there's a lot of conspiracy theories, right?
Here's the problem with the world we live in.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories.
Nobody believes anything except for the stupidest shit. You know what else happened this week? And it's still in the space realm. The CIA declassified documents and said that there was a saucer flying over a bunch of Soviet soldiers. The Soviet soldiers shot at the saucer and it crashed. The beings emerged from the wreckage and turned all of the soldiers to stone except for 2 of them.
That's fire.
The CIA declassified these documents.
Where did this happen?
What you mean? You don't read.
You don't read, Al.
Typical.
Al, you don't read.
You know what that called? You know what kind of that's called?
What's that?
Yeah, and I'm not gonna say in front of you.
You're scared.
Yep.
Scared.
Hold on.
Scared.
Hold on.
Scared.
CIA declassified. It's everywhere. You can pull up a website. Declassified Cold War era CIA files detail Soviet clash with aliens who witnesses say turned soldiers to stone. A declassified Cold War era file from the CIA has gone viral over its coverage of a supposed clash between Soviet soldiers and a UFO. Following the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, the CIA acquired a 250-page KGB report recounting the events that transpired after a platoon fired after a flying fired at a flying saucer over Ukraine. The report includes eyewitness accounts and pictures of the aftermath, which one American agent described as a horrific picture of revenge on the part of extraterrestrial creatures, a picture that makes one's blood freeze. CIA released that and y'all don't give a flying fuck, but y'all out here talking about whether or not Gayle King and Katy Perry and Jeff Bezos' wife and whoever else was on that spaceship was real or not. Why would it be fake? That's the thing. Whenever somebody tells me something's fake, I need to know why. What would the reason be for faking it?
Did you see the video?
Exactly.
Which one? Of them in space floating around?
Nah.
Which
the
one?
video where they open the door from the inside and then they're told really quickly, yo, you're not supposed to open it from the inside. We're supposed to open it to let you out.
Okay.
What people are saying is that they staged the landing.
People said that about the moon landing too.
Yeah, but obviously that's
It's actually a great movie about that. Have you seen that movie? It's that stars Channing Tatum and Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, I haven't.
Fly Me to the Moon. Shit's a great movie.
Wait, it's about staging it?
Yes, it's literally about how the Nixon administration wanted to stage it just in case they didn't make it. So they put together this whole thing, and they was like, we're gonna do the real experiment, but the one we're gonna air to everybody is gonna be this one.
So that's my theory on the whole thing.
Okay, break it down.
No, literally that.
Yeah.
I think they did stage one. I think they actually went and got there. But I think a lot of what we saw is the staged one because it's hard to get good footage. Something could have gone wrong. So they basically did the fake version. We air that, but it was still accomplished.
That's what they showed in the movie.
I think that is the most logical thing that happened.
And what they actually show you in the movie is
There's a whole Justin Theroux thing about that. It can't be everything. It can't be everything. It can't be everything. All right, don't even ask. It's fun.
Nah, bro.
Thank you, Chris.
Nah.
Like I'm trying to fucking get him.
Nah. It's the look you give. You say it, then you look off into the ether. Like you look off into space.
Okay, I'm looking at you. There's a whole Justin Theroux
now when
thing.
you said it,
There's a whole Justin Theroux thing about
okay,
that.
all right, cool.
That's stupid.
Cool. What about it?
Just throw his dick in your mouth. You couldn't not know. He's so curious. It got the best of both.
Because Chris
it got the
it's
best
like the room
of
is selling it. Chris even said something.
No, because it is a real person.
It's a real person.
I'm that sophisticated. I don't even got to make up people. I use real names and then just throw dick in your mouth. It's that simple out here. Okay?
That's crazy.
Who is this person? Now listen, let me ask you a question. Would you
just said it
believe?
again. You just said it
Let me ask
again.
you a question. Would you believe this if it was not an all-woman crew?
Of course I would believe it. What are we talking about? Like, of course I would believe it.
If it
Are
was
you
not
fucking
an
kidding
all-woman
me?
crew, you believed it.
They had one thing to remember. Don't
Okay.
open the door from the inside. And the 5 women in there couldn't put their brains together to figure that shit out. They had one thing to remember. Don't open the door from the inside. The second it landed, they opened the door from the inside.
What's the problem with opening the door from the inside? I'm trying to get the fuck out of here.
Well, they don't allow you to do it in the event that somebody goes crazy up there and they try to open the door and then kill everybody else.
I don't care how crazy you get, you're not opening that door in space. Where's there to go?
You never saw Steve Buscemi in that movie?
It's a movie. What do you think about people caring and saying things like, this is a waste of resources? And
Yeah, they're tone deaf. It's stupid. It's a waste of resources. Yo, you can
whose
do
resources, though?
Ours.
The government didn't pay for this?
Yes, it is.
No,
This
we
is-
did not.
Yes, we did.
No, we did not.
This
I
is
looked it up. No.
I asked Pete Buttigieg. She told me.
Man, shut the fuck up.
That is.
What'd you ask him? About Uranus? What'd you ask Pete Buttigieg about space, bro?
He told me he worked on this project. He was upset when I was shitting on it.
They give
Funding.
Blue Origin does get funding from the government,
That's
but when
us.
it comes to this commercial space tourism, that has nothing to do with
Yeah,
it.
but the commercial funding funds Blue Origin, which allows them to do this commercial space tourism. So without that other funding, they don't even get to.
It's Jeff Bezos. He's the fucking richest man in the
So
world.
use your own money for that shit.
I thought he did.
Nah.
From what I read, they said he did. This is not.
And I'm getting-
They said this is not publicly funded. It's not taxpayer money.
Okay, but so we fund all the trials, and then you go do it with the girls,
Okay,
and then so we're funding it to make sure it's good.
So let's talk about that. If we're funding the trials, why are you mad about this one?
Because you can't do it without trials, right?
But my
You're
point
gonna get in any spaceship?
But doesn't everything that they're saying apply to that? When they say, "Oh, it's ruining the ecosystem and you're ruining the Earth," don't the trials do that too?
Yeah, I don't care about
Can
the
we
Earth.
just admit that we're upset that this is a bunch of celebrities?
No. I'm upset it's a bunch of women.
That's why people are upset. People are upset because this is a bunch of women and a bunch of celebrities.
They're upset.
Really celebrities.
They're upset because people are doing really rough right now. Things are expensive. The economy is not good. And it's tone deaf to go send a fucking spaceship into the air for no other reason than to have your wife and her girlfriends have a little 11-minute party.
This is what America does. We do things like this all the time. That's what makes America
And we're
America.
upset when America does it too, by the way.
I thought we were talking about America.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're upset. That's what I'm saying. We're consistently upset.
People are mad because this is celebrities. If you looked and saw how many trials they do to even make sure things like this is successful, you wouldn't be mad at this one,
This is the reason why people are mad, or this is the reason why they should be mad. There are these people that build these amazing companies on the backs of a marketplace that rewards entrepreneurship that is the United States of America. And then they make all this money, and then they find ways to not pay taxes on it. They move the headquarters of their companies to other countries so they could avoid taxes. And they move the manufacturing to other countries so it removes jobs from America. So they use us and this amazing system that we've built to make God knows how much money. And then the second they cannot pay back into it, they don't. And I don't believe this bullshit about like, oh, we provide jobs. It's like you provide jobs because you can profit off of that. You're not doing it out of benevolence. So I have an issue when you're already, Amazon paid no money in tax last year.
Yes, I do that.
And you're okay with that?
No.
Okay.
We've been saying tax the wealthy.
So if you
that's why we know. By the way,
you're about to make my point.
No, by the way, I'm with you. I'm with you. But that's
right?
why nobody wanted people to vote for Donald Trump, because they knew Donald Trump was going to not give. He was going to make more tax breaks for the wealthy. That was the whole point.
You know that this was set up during the Biden administration, right?
I'm with you. But
if you think that the Democrats aren't also letting corporations get away with not paying taxes, I'm not even talking about the wealthy. This is the problem.
Sure, but who's the party that was screaming tax the wealthy?
I don't care who screams and who does it. If both of them are letting it get away with it.
I'm with you, but who's the party that was screaming tax the wealthy?
Okay, so Democrats, you like that they lie to you more.
No, but why? But you can't complain about what you voted for.
I'm just saying, tuck you into bed with your lies. If you want to get tucked into bed with the lies, that's fine.
Sure, but you still can't complain for what you voted for.
I can complain about whatever I want. I'm American.
That is true, but
that's what
Republicans do not care about taxing the wealthy.
Neither do Democrats. None of them do. And it's not about just taxing the wealthy. Because
so why are we voting?
So what, we supposed to not vote at all?
Maybe. I don't fucking know anymore, bro.
Here's the thing. Also, like the things that you vote for, like you don't have to support every single thing that a candidate or a party does.
Yes, that is true.
So just because you vote for one thing doesn't mean you're okay with some fuck shit that they do. The point that I'm trying to make, and this has been happening for decades, is like there are corporations in America that we know those corporations don't pay tax. Do you know that, Jamil, right? Jamil, when he works abroad, he had to pay taxes abroad in the country he works and in America while he was working abroad.
Do you know how many times we've argued about, not even argued, how many times we've said this on this podcast?
So why the fuck is Apple allowed to keep tons of fucking money out there in China and not pay any taxes on it? Why are they allowed to set up dummy corporations in Ireland where they don't have to pay tax? That's stealing from the American people. So you're stealing from us.
You are 100% correct, but,
I'm always right.
Welcome to 2015. This conversation has been happening
Why don't you
forever.
tell me that? Why don't you tell me that shit, bro?
This is not a new conversation. All we want is the wealthy to pay their fair share of taxes.
That's when I was making sure Democrats would be in office, and I did, and nothing happened.
Listen,
that's when I was voting for Democrats. I'm not shit, and they just keep letting them do it. And I'll be honest, I'm pissed at Trump. Matter of fact, and I'm pissed at this whole tariff shit. If you're gonna remove the tariffs for Apple on the phones and the iPads and all this kind of shit,
why?
Let me tell you why I'm pissed. Because now, the businesses, the mom and pop businesses that actually might rely on those goods from that are being manufactured in China are going to get clipped when Apple is the one that has been making trillions of dollars off the fact that there are next to like no tariffs and taxes on their goods coming over here. So now they continue to make trillions of dollars while they moved all their manufacturing out of this country, while they move all their headquarters out of this country so they don't even have to pay taxes on it. So the mom and pop people who are getting their goods from China, they still got to pay taxes. Matter of fact, they're paying probably proportionally way more taxes than Amazon is paying or Apple's paying, and you're going to punish them and then let Apple get off scot-free? That's some fuck shit if you ask me.
You're absolutely right, but where have you been the last 10 to 15
Voting
years?
for Democrats. And see where it got me?
I don't even know if this is, I'm going to be honest with you, this isn't a party thing. This is an America being a fucked up capitalist society thing.
This is why
capitalism ruling everything around me.
This is why you need guardrails for capitalism, 100%. But to me, it's important that we recognize these figures because there's a lot of these like celebrity CEOs, and they walk around and they have a lot of fun and they send spaceships into the sky while they're doing certain business practices that are literally stealing money from the people and the country that allowed their business to thrive. There's no Amazon in these other countries because they're way more restrictive. Right? Like you cannot create these companies in other countries because they're so fucking restrictive. Facebook can't be created in other countries because they don't believe in sharing the data in the way that Americans just let that data go everywhere. So we have this marketplace that allows entrepreneurship to thrive. And then the second they make billions of dollars, they find a way to extract that wealth from the very marketplace that allowed them to thrive. That should be stealing.
Yes.
That should be looked at as theft. And there should be, and I know this is difficult, and I know taxing rich people is very hard.
It shouldn't be though.
It's not hard to tax us.
That's my point.
Like, and that's the other
by
thing.
The way,
we get looped into this with those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
We're getting taxed
by the way,
efficiently.
that's not even my point.
Really efficiently.
That's not even my point. That is majority of Americans' point. Tax the goddamn wealthy. Tax the top.
But they don't make any money. They go, oh, I don't have any income, so you can't tax me.
They write the laws themselves.
Well, I wouldn't even go so far. Yes, I think they do use lobbyists to do that. But essentially what they do is they say, we have income tax, right? They tax us on our income. Those people, they go, Apple, the guy from Apple, not Tim Cook, Steve Jobs was making $1 a year. He's like, just give me all my money in stock options. And then what they do is they take loans out against their stock options. And loans are what? Not taxable. So you're making double money when you think about it.
I agree with all that, but I would say, isn't this more reason than someone like Elon Musk, who did not pay any income tax in 24, I believe, shouldn't be the guy in charge of Doge? If he's not carrying his fair share, should he be the one making decisions on who gets cut from the federal?
Not only did he not pay income tax, majority of his money comes from the fucking federal government.
So why is he the one?
So technically we're paying Eli.
Yo,
Elon.
Not only him, Walmart. Like, why the fuck am I paying all the Walmart employees?
Sure.
Like, why are you paying them? Why are you letting them work 38 hours so you don't have to pay them full time and don't have to give them benefits and do this other shit? So the American government has to step in and pay for half of it. Like, these are the type of things that we have to look at these people and we have to understand who these people are and the families. We should know like what they look like and their names, and they should be publicly shamed for this.
Oh, they do. Why do you think that all of these CEOs after the United Healthcare CEO got gunned down was hiring mad security? Because that is what people are starting to see. They're starting to put these people's names on their wall and say, these are the people that are motherfucking keeping me from having free healthcare. These are the people that are keeping me from having free education in this country.
I will say this. I think it is a natural human instinct to like try to hoard your resources. I think that like if we didn't have money, we would do it with fucking coconuts. Like, I think that's what humans do. And that's why. And I don't want to remove this amazing marketplace for entrepreneurship that we have here in America.
To your point, I love the capitalist system, but it needs to have guardrails.
Yes, that's it. It's just, and the guardrail is not to stop innovation. The guardrail is to stop a business from literally stealing money from the place that allowed the business to thrive.
That's right.
I consider when you create tons of revenue and you move your headquarters to a dummy office in Ireland or whatever the fuck it was giving you these tax benefits, I consider that theft. Because if I took my money and I moved it to an offshore account in the Bahamas or something like that, I would go to prison because I would be not paying taxes, right? That would be considered fraud. But when it would be tax evasion. But when they do it, it's considered good business practice.
Yeah, because they create laws for them to be able to do it.
They should be looked at as if they are stealing money from the American people. You can move your manufacturing overseas. I'm okay with that. As long as you make all that extra revenue, as long as the American people get that tax benefit from all that extra revenue.
And we would pay less in taxes.
That's like us. That's what I'm saying. Not even like us. The people making under $50,000 a year, under $100,000 a year. You could tax us fine.
They really hit us, though.
They really hit us, but at the same time, nobody feels bad for us, as they shouldn't, because we're in a very fortunate situation. I'm
not as fortunate as fucking Bezos and Elon Musk,
but that's also the concern with you've talked about the idea that we might do no taxes on $150,000 and under.
I like that.
Okay, but if that happens, what you're going to get is the bottom's paying no taxes.
Why
the top is paying
all that dick they take? They shouldn't have to pay no taxes. I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's fair. That's right off for sure. But
I'm serious. If you were bottom taking all that
I just got it.
Yeah, come on now. Be honest with you. Why should they have to take taxes? We have to take the tax dollars and they take. Come on.
You also can't incentivize somebody to make less than 150 grand. Because let's say you tax you tax nothing under 150 and someone's making 160 getting taxed at 30%. They're like, all right, fuck it. I got to find a way to make under 150.
Oh, it's like tanking the NBA. Yo, I'm not going to, hey, let me just go 0-15 down the stretch. But the problem is basically the top, the bottom, whatever you want to call it, the middle class, which is basically on its last legs, but which isn't important to have a middle class in the country.
Crucial.
They're gonna take the entire tax burden in the entire country then, and that's gonna absolutely destroy the middle class, which is something you don't want.
All I'm saying is, like, if you are a corporation and you move manufacturing overseas to the detriment of the people in your country so that you can profit more, the bare minimum that you should be expected to do is be taxed on those new profits, just like anybody else here. When they make more money, they get taxed more, so that we can use that money. And I'm not saying the government is efficient at all, but at least so that we could use that money, hopefully, to rebuild some sort of industry infrastructure for those people that now no longer have jobs because we've moved those jobs overseas.
I was thinking about this.
Is that a
Can we
crazy
cap?
sentiment?
Can we
Like,
cap CEO salaries? What's a fair number to keep people incentivized?
No, I don't believe in the cap in the CEO salary.
But then they're going to keep hoarding the coconuts.
Well, the problem I have with the CEO...
Not if we put the taxation.
The problem
laws
I
in
have with
place.
CEO salaries is when, for whatever reason, it seems like a lot of times when the stock market's crashing shit, these CEOs still get their bonuses. You shouldn't still get your bonuses if your company isn't performing or if the stock market is crashed. Why should you still get a bonus?
You shouldn't get a bonus if you get bailed out.
You definitely shouldn't get a
Like,
bonus
if you get bailed out by
That's
the
another
American
one.
people, you're not getting a bonus.
Yes, it's like, where's the bonus?
So listen, I think these are basic things that, because the tax laws are so sophisticated in this country, and they're way too sophisticated for a guy like me to even understand. And it is hard to catch these motherfuckers. They spend tens of millions of dollars a year on tax attorneys that specifically
And who's
attack
the greatest example of that?
Say again?
Who's the greatest example of that?
Is Trump the greatest example? No, and listen, I think absolutely go after it 100%. I'm not against it. I just feel like this is a bipartisan issue that we don't need to be polarized about. Like, poor Republicans, poor Democrats, middle class Republicans, middle class Democrats, we can go at both parties and put pressure, and we don't have to make it a look, the Republicans bad thing. This is an American thing.
Well, it is an American thing, and it is interesting what you said about the Democrats earlier, because it is true, right? Like, whenever Democrats talk about, taxing the wealthy, we've always said for years, you're lying. You're not going to really tax the wealthy.
You ain't gonna do shit.
It sounds like a good talking point.
You're going to tax Charlamagne and Andrew, but you ain't going to tax the real wealthy.
That's right. That's right.
You're going to say you're going to do it, and then you're going to go and tax us, and then those guys giving you hundreds of millions of dollars, you're going to do fucking nothing.
$100 million to help write the laws and tell you shut the fuck up. Now, I will say this.
Biden did extend the Trump tax cuts.
He did, huh?
He extended it. He could have just let it expire.
Of course he extended it, because those listen, corporate America is all those politicians' daddies.
I want Apple paying tax.
The wealthy is all those politicians' daddies. That's why it's so wild to me to hear Democrats talk about oligarchy and everything. The oligarchy has always existed. You just have somebody like Elon Musk who's front and center with it now. The oligarchy has always existed.
Yeah.
It's just that now all of those tech guys wanted to sit at the inauguration
Used to be the
behind Donald Trump.
Rockefellers. Used to be the Kennedys.
George Soros. What you mean?
All these
You
motherfuckers.
can talk about right now. George Soros right now.
Absolutely. He's the left-wing version of it. 100%.
Like, oligarchies always existed.
Which way do you guys prefer? Seeing the oligarchs do their thing in public like an Elon, or the behind-the-scenes stuff?
I like seeing it because we at least know who it is. Like, look at all the shit that Elon's getting, that there's all these people, like the Walton family that owns Walmart. We don't even know what they look like. We don't even know what they look like.
I don't see the point. You know why?
I want to know what you look like.
But that's.
I want you to feel the shame.
But here's the thing. Schulz. Imagine you're a Walton. That's bad business. Because everybody shops at Walmart. That's why I never understood Elon Musk's angle. Well, Elon, the majority of people probably buying your electric cars are fucking liberals who believe in climate change.
That's the rise and fall of the celebrity CEO. The benefit of the celebrity CEO is you could do a lot of promotion for your company. The negative is if you are viewed negatively, it impacts the company.
But that's what I'm saying. Why would you want to be front and center?
Because it could benefit your company. It's just like having a mascot for your company that's really cool. It makes the company look
It don't
really
benefit
cool.
your company regardless of what side you're on. Because you're going to piss off somebody.
But he just became polarizing. Like before, when Elon Musk was doing the electric vehicles, before he got political, he was just a superstar celebrity that everybody wanted to invest in, and whatever he touched turned to gold.
He's a genius. He's like the Tony Stark of our time.
Exactly.
Why not stay in that role and just continue to manipulate whoever you want to?
He got political. That's the thing.
But stay out of politics. You can be political and still be behind the scenes.
And that's what I wonder if he goes, this was a mistake.
I think
I don't
so.
know. I don't know.
I would think so.
But it does frustrate me. Like those types of things frustrate me, and it's like I understand the feeling of like how do you save more money and do that stuff for your business. I get it, but like I wonder if we have these businesses that are making billions, trillions of dollars, right? I wonder if there's just like a bare minimum tax burden that you have to pay, even if you can
have to
if you have X amount of employees, you have to pay bare minimum. 20 billion, whatever it is, or 10 billion. I don't even know what the fucking numbers of these.
It's a flat rate. You should have to pay something, especially if you claim to care about people.
That's
if
it.
our tax dollars are supposed to go to programs and infrastructure, why would you have a problem paying that?
And the government is going to fuck it up. But at least I don't resent you for getting around the system that I'm not allowed to get around. You know what I'm saying? The government will find a way to be inefficient about it the same way that we don't got a fucking rail line in California, the same way that they don't have the railway in Hawaii, the same way that the BQE is still fucked up over here. God. The government will find a way to fuck it up, yes.
Yeah.
But bare minimum, you're in this with us.
I do have an idea though. If you don't want them to pay taxes, they should have to donate a certain amount of money.
They'll just run it through
their own corporations. That's the thing.
But no, they should have to donate it to
a charity they're not related to?
Yes, exactly.
They'll take over
Programs,
whatever the charity is.
They should have to.
They'll have the charity owned under a trust.
But this has been the American philosophy, especially among the Republicans since Reagan, which is what we're talking about is trickle-down effect, right?
Trickle-down economics.
The whole philosophy is if you handcuff these companies and if you handcuff these CEOs, they won't be incentivized or they won't have the ability to create jobs and to create businesses, and then that will trickle down negatively because there won't be as much jobs created and much money in circulation. And if you give them free reign, it'll trickle down positively. They'll create so much wealth and so much money and put so much stuff in circulation.
Well, we know that's not true, though.
Well, of course, I think trickle down is bullshit, but I think we're at the moment.
Sorry, go.
No, that's it. I hope we're at a moment when people see people hold on to wealth.
Yes.
I don't believe that trickle down is bullshit. If these corporations are not using tax loopholes to avoid taxation, trickle down is bullshit when they're avoiding the taxation process that funds this whole marketplace. And I think that's the issue here. It's like
pay your share and then be greedy after you pay your share.
Yeah, be as greedy as you want, as long as you're paying the piper.
Right.
That'd be awesome. What they do is their greed, which is a human thing. It's not specific to them. If we were in that position, we would do it, of course.
Yeah.
And a fiduciary responsibility to the shareholders. But like, I think that if they were paying what is quote unquote their fair share, yes, maybe it would stop growth a little bit. But you know what it might inspire?
Talk that liberal talk, bro.
No.
Talk that.
When you were down,
We're talking a little socialism here. We're talking a little social
talk, bro. Come on, young
socialism.
Bernie. Let's go, young Bernie.
I love Bernie.
Let's go.
You know I love Bernie.
You fuck with Bernie.
I've been Bernie since day one. I love that shit.
Come on, Andrew O'Course. What's her name?
Ocasio-Cortez. I'm
AOC.
I'm AOC. But you know I've always been about this shit.
No, that's true.
You know, I just don't want them to cut off the kids' school, man. Is that?
But
that's fair.
You guys keep focusing on taxes. What about wages and salaries? Like no one.
That's another thing.
I think that's even bigger than the avoiding of the taxes.
I think
CEO pays keep going up.
Can we ask a real
salaries
question?
stay stagnant?
You're right.
Yeah.
Andrew's right. We're all right. Are we ever going to really elect officials that are going to actually do those things? And is corporate America going to ever get out of these politicians' pockets enough for a politician to really be able to cook?
There. And then
you think so?
Then your Democrats stole that shit from my boy Bernie. Guys, let's take a break for a second, man. Listen, we're in spring. Summer's almost here. Time to really serve your girl up the dick that she deserves. You probably kept her hibernated all winter. Probably haven't been satisfying her. She's walking around. Probably got 3 centimeters tighter just because you have been poking it out all winter. I understand the feeling. Seasonal depression affects us all. But now you got to come out strong, okay? Come spring, come summer, coming is exactly what you got to do. And Blue Chew is going to help you do that better than ever. The hardest dick you've ever had in your entire life. Same active ingredient that's inside Viagra, Cialis, but this is the Chew, the one that we rock with, the one that you're going to rock with. You're going to get your first month free. All you got to do is pay $5 shipping. When you go to bluechew.com, use the promo code IDIOTS. You already know what time it is. Bluechew.com, promo code IDIOTS. Now let's get back to the show.
Yes, let's pay some more bills, though, man. Salute to Talkspace. Talkspace, you have no idea what y'all are doing for people in our community, okay? Y'all are the leading virtual therapy provider. Talkspace makes getting help, makes getting the help you need easy, accessible, and affordable. Talkspace therapy and psychiatry are covered by many insurance plans and employers. Most insured members have a $0 copay. You can easily sign up online and get paired with the licensed provider that's the right fit for your needs, typically within 48 hours. You can also switch providers at no extra cost. You can even talk it out between sessions by sending messages to your therapist. Talkspace provides personalized treatment for individuals, couples, the LGBTQIA plus community, veterans, teens, everybody. And as a listener of the Brilliant Ideas podcast, you'll get $80 off your first month with Talkspace when you go to Talkspace.com/idiots and enter promo code SPACE80. See, that's the beauty of being in the private sector. When you're in the private sector, you can have advertisers like Talkspace who know that one of the hosts on the show, both of the hosts on the show actually, are big proponents of therapy. I'm a mental health advocate, and I would like to see people go out there and get the help that they need. Talkspace provides that. And if you want to be matched with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com/idiots and enter promo code SPACE80 to get $80 off your first month and show your support for the show. That's Talkspace.com/idiots, promo code SPACE80. Let's get back to the show.
We're almost there. And then you with your hot sauce and Hillary and all whatever. Oh, look at your hot sauce. Oh, you're so cool. You try to give her saxophone moment.
I'm going to be totally honest with you. You're right.
Thank you.
I've said that already. I'm on record saying that 2016, there was an organic groundswell for Bernie Sanders. And people are even coming off of Bernie now. But in 2016, there was an organic groundswell for Bernie Sanders. Just like in 2008, it was an organic groundswell for Barack Obama. And we should have went where the people went. The only reason I didn't get behind Bernie the way I probably should have when the Killer Mikes and Nina Turners and everybody was telling me to was because they told me that he couldn't win. That was the sentiment from I'm just talking about the media.
Oldest trick in the book.
Was saying he can't win, he'll never win, he won't win. He
said about Trump.
He won't win when the system is rigged.
But it was time for that. It was time for a senator from Vermont who's not really a DC person. It was time for the executive producer, celebrity print. People wanted something different.
Drastic change.
And we went too far with the drastic change, if you ask me, but yeah, Bernie should have been the guy. But it is what it is.
How about, you want to know some real shit? If Bernie was at least the nominee, even if he lost to Trump, which he might have lost to Trump is like an incredibly engaging personality, and usually the person with more charm is going to win. But Bernie's policies and the way that they touch the working class people of the United States of America would have pulled Trump into a position where he would also have to address those working class people. It would have changed Trump's policies to mirror Bernie's in a way. And that alone could have helped.
Bernie not even radical, bro. Free healthcare, education, maybe a universal basic income.
No, that's crazy. You're acting crazy, man.
Well, what's the difference? Okay, let me ask you a question.
It takes time to get to these things.
Sure, but what's the difference between a universal basic income and freaking stimulus checks? Or Elon Musk saying, hey, we're going to find all of these savings from Doge and give out $5,000 to the American people. What's the difference?
Well, the idea of universal basic income is that you're going to get
everybody getting an extra $500 a month that need it? Not everybody, but people that need it get an extra $500.
Well, we do that.
$1,000 a month.
We do that.
Not
welfare.
Sort of, kind of, but not like this. Not where you just say, hey, in your check every month is an extra $1,000. And if you can keep all of these corporations from stop being greedy and not price gouging and all that other shit, people are really getting some extra money in their pocket. What's wrong with that?
Why don't you just make sure these corporations pay their fair share and let's see what happens?
Hey.
Why don't you make sure these corporations pay their fair share and let's see what happens?
I am with you 100%. Now, I will say this. 12 hours ago. Was this 12 hours ago? 5 a.m. this morning. Republicans reconsider their commitment to tax cuts for the rich in Trump agenda bill. It's an unexpected debate that has emerged as GOP lawmakers look for ways to pay for their massive budget bill. And as the party's electoral coalition shift, Republicans are discussing an idea that has long been, what the fuck is this word? Anathema? What's that mean, Chris? Anthemema? And ANATHEMA.
I can't pronounce it either.
Yes, but it's long been an issue
against that. Something they've been against.
Long been an issue within the party. No, ANATHEMA.
Or I forgot how to say it.
It's long been an issue within the party, and guess what that is?
What?
A tax hike on the wealthy.
Now, here's the thing. This tax hike on the wealthy, this is what's very important, because this is all fucking lip service. What does a tax hike on the wealthy mean? You actually don't want to attack the people who are making big income. You don't want to attack LeBron James. You don't want to attack other athletes. By attack, that's a strong word. But those are the people you don't want to target. What you want to do is target the people who aren't making income.
Jeff Bezos.
The loopholes, right? And here's
Elon Musk.
but this is what they do. They tell us this shit. Oh, tax hikes on the rich, and it's just like, you know who wants that more than anything? Jeff Bezos, Elon, Zuckerberg. They want that because they know it just goes to me and you. It doesn't go to them because they're not making any income. You have to change tax codes to target people who have mastered the art of hiding their wealth. Yes. And they find, dude.
You have a president who's made his entire career.
You're gonna fuck it up, Chris. I'm just telling you. Everybody's on board with this, and then you make it about one guy.
I'll take it a step further.
I just said the other three guys. Yeah. I'm not against him if it happened for him either. Make it bipartisan.
I'll take it a step further.
In
you
this
said
issue.
don't tax LeBron. That's fine. I would stop. I've always been very against the idea of taxpayers underwriting these sports arenas. Right? Tax.
Fuck that shit.
That.
Why do I got to pay for the arena?
Why are these guys getting a fucking break?
And I can't even get free tickets to a game?
Right.
Yo, I'm serious.
Yo,
like, wouldn't you do that? If you knew that your money was coming from taxpayers, wouldn't you be like, look, we know where this money came from. We're going to get free tickets to the game. Like in college, the students get free tickets. So should the residents of the place, like the residents, if I'm a resident of Dallas, should I not get free tickets to the fucking game?
Barclays Center. It's
a lot of people probably don't even know this.
Bullshit.
A lot of people probably don't even know this. Please explain how an arena gets built.
Well, in the case of Barclays,
Mexicans.
No, a guy like Bruce Ratner the first thing he did is he claimed intimate domain for Brooklyn.
Which is crazy. Where you basically
downtown Brooklyn is like the hottest real estate market in the world right now. Okay? He got intimate domain. There was some pushback. But basically, he got massive tax cuts that underwrote the construction of the arena. As soon as...
Tax cuts? He got funding.
Funding.
Not cut. We fund it.
Funding.
The city buys your arena for your team.
He sold to the Russian guy who owned the Nets for a long time. He's out. And the value of these teams keep appreciating. But the taxpayer is the one who's footing the initial bill, who's paying for the whole setup.
The pushback, though, Chris, it's not my pushback, but just what people would say is all of the jobs it creates.
A handful of jobs.
Check it. All the jobs that it creates, right? All the jobs.
Minimum wage gig economy.
Chris, you can't kick the cameras for the video podcast.
I'm getting excited here.
It's a 245% tariff on China right now, Chris.
Yeah, exactly. And we're gonna get to that in 1 second. But so
it's good.
So real quick. So what did you say exactly, Chris? It was so the tax break on it, or the jobs that it creates, right?
Right.
I'm really interested in wages. If it costs billions of dollars to build one of these arenas,
right?
I'm really curious in wages to low and middle income workers. How much money or how long it will take to erase the $6 billion or $2 billion or whatever it is we put up to build that arena.
I mean,
you see what I'm saying?
I'm looking it up right now.
You also have to include all the tourists that it brings. All the money.
Everything it does for the economy around the city, around the arena, the restaurants, like all of that goes into play.
Yeah,
and they're able to build. Like if you think about it, if you ever been to the Barclays since it opened, think about all of the new shit that's around the Barclays. You know what I mean?
So then here we go. Ready? This is, you know what? You make up a great point. I'd like to take that back. Okay, you can look that up. I'd like to take that back. So you're saying, Charlamagne the God, that when government intervenes with serious money to spend on projects that develop areas in cities that may not be developed, that it increases jobs, increases opportunities, and increases tourism?
Absolutely, but here's the thing.
Let me just get this point out. So imagine if each one of these cities with an Amazon factory got a nice tax bill at the end of the year, a fair tax bill. Imagine what they could build in their local communities, the jobs that they could create. Because if we're 100%. Funding these things anyway, it'd be nice if the people that are making trillions of dollars wouldn't mind kicking back a little something themselves.
You're right. The only problem is, and I'm not pushing back just for the sake of pushing back, because I'm not really pushing back. I'm just saying what the truth is. When these things happen, these neighborhoods end up being too expensive for the people who've always lived in these neighborhoods when they were bad to live in.
Well,
So
you
now-
see that with commercial real estate around Barclays.
Absolutely.
All the mom and pops have gotten
Gone.
pushed out.
Pushed out.
Yeah.
Gone.
Okay, now that obviously that sucks. That's unfortunate. It is also great when somebody years ago bought one of those places and they're from the community. They're not just a person who owns a bunch of buildings, but they took their investment from their job and they invested in that community. They lived in that community for
Absolutely.
decades and then get this opportunity to make generational wealth because of that investment they made in that community. And I know that those are fewer and far between. But it is
No, not
really
really.
nice when you hear those stories. It's a beautiful thing. It's like
most of those, that's usually what they do. They go to these areas. They just don't pay top dollar, especially back
that's
then
the
in
eminent
Brooklyn.
domain shit that
Yes.
fucking pisses
Yes.
me off.
Yes.
The worst offender is actually Yankee Stadium. I'm looking it up.
Oh wow, really?
Cost more. This is the new one built in 2009.
Yeah.
$2.3 billion to build. The Yankees put up $670 million of that. The rest, $1.186 billion, came from public money and tax breaks.
That's
That's all, you know.
I wouldn't give nobody in the Bronx free tickets though. You gotta keep. Sorry, Bronx. I can completely understand.
Not a Bronx music. Low key.
I can completely understand if you don't want Bronx.
You get rid of the zoo in Yankee Stadium, bro. Ain't nobody going to the Bronx, bro. It's like they need that shit bad. They need that shit badly.
Shout out to the Bronx.
Shout out to Bronx.
What would happen if you took $1 billion and put it into the South Bronx? No Yankee Stadium. Or an old Yankee Stadium that people are going to show up to regardless.
Yo,
It
can I
depends.
say
It depends.
one- oh,
It
go,
depends, Chris. I'm not. Listen, I'm with you. Here's the thing about all of that money and all of those resources. You got to give it to the right people who know what to
Exactly.
do.
You can't let you. This is what happens, and this is. Let's just be honest. Let's call it what it is. When government is left to its own devices to do these projects, nothing gets done, or not enough gets done. When the private sector that has experience in it does it, you get Yankee Stadium built, you get Barclays built. So maybe there is this version where we let private sector people profit off of these endeavors that we know are beneficial to the city.
But that's what the private sector is supposed to be for. To me, anyway, right? I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. Government, the private sector is supposed to fill in the gaps that the government has open. To me. Right? Like, because there's certain things we know the government is not going to do. There's certain people we know the government is not going to touch. We know there's certain, issues, places, the government don't even know what the fuck is going on. That's why you need people who can do the free enterprise thing, build their own businesses, take their money and their resources and put it into these cities, put it into these people. To me, I just feel like private sector should come in when government fails.
Yeah, I mean, but also private sector could just make a sneaker store that's really cool and we want to buy sneakers there. Like,
But are you employing people from the community?
yeah, or
Cool.
not, or maybe not. Like, it could be whatever I want.
But then that's whack to me. That's what I mean. If I'm a private sector and I create a dope, cool sneaker store, put it in the Bronx, hire people from the Bronx, pay them a fair wage. These people can come in this place every day and, make their money, also be attached to the cool sneaker or whatever it is, and live a cool existence in the Bronx.
I mean, I think that's cool if those are the people you think are qualified for the position, but I don't think you have to hire from that. Like, let's say
You
you
should, though.
No, I don't think so. Like, let's say, for example, you have a Mexican restaurant, right, in the Bronx, and it's authentic Mexican cuisine, and the kitchen staff that you want come from a specific place in Mexico, and they've been making this cuisine for 200 years. I don't think you should have to hire Dominicans and Puerto Ricans in the Bronx just because they live there. I think if you want to put out a product, you hire the people that make that product the best possible thing, and if you can ingratiate yourself to the community, you'll probably have more success. The more that you make sure the community feel welcome in your place, the more success you'll have, but it shouldn't be like mandatory to do.
I'm not gonna say it shouldn't be mandatory, but I think it is good business.
I agree with you on that.
Yes.
But I wouldn't say like you have to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a must. Like there are certain things that you want to maintain whatever cultural attribute that thing has. And in order to do that, you might not be able to hire from the direct community.
And the thing I'm saying about private sector, like for me, right, as a business owner, I'm able to use my money to do what it is I want to do. Like, I know that, government funding might be not what it needs to be at this HBCU, but I can provide scholarships, right? I know that this area over here, might have a shortage of jobs for people in the community, but I can set up something and hire people from that community. That's why I mean when I say private sector should step in when government fails. Because government...
Go
just real quick, government should be The government should be able to provide for the poor and disenfranchised if we were taxing the wealthy.
Exactly. Now, here's a good thing about this is interesting. You said that we put how much into the Yankee Stadium, whatever?
How much was it, Chris?
Over $1 billion.
Okay, so the American taxpayer put over $1 billion. Now, I don't see the Yankees selling anytime soon, right? But let's say Barclays sells, right? Let's say if the New Yorkers put $600 million into Barclays and then it sells. We need that money back, fam. That wasn't a gift.
It's an investment.
That was an investment. And I want if we're putting up that much for it, just like any other investor, we get that piece of the pie. And I think that why?
Because they can say, well, I provided all these jobs, so that chips away at the investment. I brought all this money coming into the area.
Revenue into the city, yeah.
No,
that's chipping away at
you
this.
providing jobs got nothing to do with anything. When you say you provide jobs, people are taking a chance, risking their own money, opening up a business around Barclays Center. You're not giving them money to open up the business.
People that are working at Barclays Center.
Okay, so a few hundred people. That's not jobs.
But then you bring tourism.
It is, but what I'm saying, it's not considering like what that whole community can be. Like all the restaurants that are around it. There's barber shops. There's clothing stores. There's residential housing.
I think we forget
if
that
Barclays wasn't there, then you wouldn't have brought all that revenue to the area. So then they can be like,
No.
yo.
But I think we forget one thing. When you're talking about 300 jobs, you're really talking about thousands of people. And
let me just real quick on that. I just want to say it's like that may happen or they may not happen. You're not directly providing them. For example, the team could go up, nobody could show up, and then the team folds in a year. So those restaurants and residential things that pop up out of it, you're not providing them. Other people are taking massive risk, hoping that your investment that the citizens of that city paid for works out. You're not taking away the risk. What we're doing by giving you $600 million in capital is we're taking a risk on you with no real reward directly connected back to us. If the city funds $600 million worth of a $2 billion project, let's call it $500 million, we should own 25% of that project as the city. We could have no ownership stake in terms of what happens in the company. Obviously, private sector works better. But when there is a sale, that increase in the value of the company, like let's say it goes from 2 to 4 billion, we should get $1 billion back. We put 500 million, now it sells for double. You owe us 1 billion just like you would owe the bank $1 billion if you took out a loan for it.
One thing that you said
is that like this seems like basic economics.
The counter argument to this has always been if you as a particular city or state enacted those laws, then the teams would all just rush off to other
But they wouldn't though. See, that's the
states came together and made that.
So it would have to be
the game of chicken that people should start playing.
Go to Ohio and do your team then.
That's what I'm saying.
I dare you. Like you don't want a team in New York City?
You really think the Nets was going to stay in Jersey?
Fuck out of here.
Like, no, let's go to Brooklyn.
Fuck out of here.
Because Brooklyn is the new hotspot. But I want to go back to something that you said about the people who invest around, right? They would never probably have made that investment if it wasn't for something like the Barclays Center. And that's why those big investments are good, right? I'll give you an example. In South Carolina, Volvo built a $500 million plant in an area called Ridgeville. There's no other industry in Ridgeville. Immediately, what do? I go buy land all around.
Yeah, smart.
Ridgeville. I wasn't thinking about Ridgeville prior to that. So that's why those things are good. That's why a Barclays Center is good or an arena anywhere is good.
But did the city give Volvo money to build the factory?
I don't know.
Maybe they gave them tax.
I'm not sure.
Probably. Maybe they gave them.
They got some tax incentives.
All right, but tax incentives are different. I'm okay with tax incentives, right? Like if you want to film a movie somewhere, you're going to be bringing in 300 people. You're going to be using all these different. There's an injection into the economy, so I understand tax incentives there because that money that you're paying.
Taxpayer dollars.
Exactly. But if it's actual cash from us, which you have to tax us more to get. Right? Or you have to, I guess, like maybe sell municipal bonds.
It's bonds. A lot of it is bonds.
Okay, so. Ooh, well, that's interesting. If it's municipal bonds, not tax dollars from us, then the people that own those municipal bonds maybe deserve a piece of that. I think the city deserves a piece of it personally, and I don't think that this is a bad idea. I like the idea of incentivizing people to come in with businesses, and I like the idea of tax incentives. But the second you take our cash, we get a piece of that.
If it's taxpayer dollars, I like the idea of us getting a piece of it, and I like
us like a bank. Dude.
And I like
treat us like a bank.
And I like the idea of making it mandatory that you got to hire people from the motherfucking city. If it's our taxpayer dollars,
sure. I mean,
you got to have a certain percentage of people who work here from the city.
If you want, we could. I'm not that. I think that that's going to organically happen because you're not going to fly in 300 people to work at Barclays.
Shit.
You think they will?
Yeah.
Really?
I'll give you another example. I'm just using South Carolina because that's home. But there's like Kiowa Island, right? Kiowa Island is a great resort. People love there, go there and play golf. But you could be eating at restaurants in Kiowa, and if you're from Charleston, you'll hear an accent, but you'll be like, that ain't Geechee. But then you'll talk to people and it's like, oh, we're from the Caribbean. They flew us in here to work for a certain amount of time, and then we go back. And I remember sitting there with my homegirl, Ashley, salute to AJ. I remember like, why wouldn't they just hire people from the area? Why would they fly people in? Because there's programs that actually take people, put them into, like teach them how to do the hospitality business, and then they work at these resorts. But I think that those resorts should have to hire people from South Carolina.
I think it's a noble thing. I don't think it should be mandatory. I think once you get into DEI, and it's not DEI in terms of like race, but it's DEI in terms of like area or whatever. Like once you get into like forcing companies to hire a certain way, it's harder for them to control the outcome because they're not hiring based on merit. They're hiring based on location. So I think it just potentially fucks up.
But what
the
if you
product.
took those people and trained them? What if you took those people from the
train them and they're not
Because
good.
I'm just trying to make our taxpayer dollars benefit us. All of this money that we're kicking out in taxes, I want them to come back to the poor and disenfranchised. Why not take people from those areas, train them, and then let them work there?
I guarantee you, if business flourishes in an area, and they actually pay their tax debt as they should. Actually, I can't guarantee because government will find a way to fuck it up.
Man.
That's the thing. And that's why I think government should be working with the private sector. I'm not against the private sector coming in. Dude, you don't even have to pay us, the city, back based on the new valuation of the franchise. Pay us back on whatever a mortgage rate is. So like if we give you $600 million to make it, you sell it 10 years later, 6% a year on those. I think that's fair because realistically, these rich people, they could also just get a loan out from the bank, right? Like they could, so just we'll match whatever the bank would give you. You're still incentivized to make your money. We get our shit back and we get all those jobs. This to me seems incredibly fair, dude. And if the business loses money, we took that risk with you.
Yeah.
But if it makes money,
that makes more sense.
give me a little something. Yeah. I don't think that's
There's
crazy.
also never been one that's lost money to date.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like baseball will probably be the first sport to fall apart. And that's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Well, let the record show the last U.S. president to tax the rich was Barack Obama. The American Taxpayer Relief Act.
He's also he
did what you wanted him to do. Don't hate now.
No, he didn't. He gave Goldman anything they fucking wanted.
Okay.
Like, stop it. That's not the example you want to use.
Well, it is. It's true. I looked at the most recent U.S. president to implement significant tax increases on high-income earners was Barack Obama.
But that's the exact thing we're talking not about.
You don't want it to be high-income earners. You want it to be actual corporations.
Tax people proportionally. But what happens is...
Well, he did something called the Buffett Rule, aiming to ensure that millionaires pay a minimum effective tax rate of 30%.
We're not worried about millionaires.
That didn't pass Congress, though.
We're not worried about millionaires. We worried about billionaires.
That would impact the billionaires as well.
I'm worried about corporations more so than the billionaires because even the individuals, you can't tax them because they'll find ways to not even make money or they'll keep them in these
It's all
dummy
about the loopholes. You got to close up the loopholes.
And then when you close them up, they're going to make new ones. But it has to be a conscious effort every single day. And that's essentially like, this is going to sound like I'm supportive of bureaucracy, but like capitalism is amazing. It's incredible. It's brought more people out of poverty than any other system that exists in the world. But we have to recognize that there are times where it can be disadvantageous to the people within that country if it is done with such a level of greed that there is a lack of concern.
That's a socialist talk. Here.
Socialist talk.
But
no, it's not socialist talk, actually.
Smart capitalism, whatever compassionate.
Compassionate capitalism.
Stop even using that word socialism because it freaks people out. Like
compassionate capitalism.
By the way,
that's what Bernie fucked up too.
I'll be honest. I don't think when corporations don't pay their fair share of taxes is capitalism. I think that's theft. I'm just talking about regular capitalism.
If they're following the rules, technically.
Yeah, it's not theft.
Well, we also have a situation where 20,000 IRS agents just resigned yesterday. The failure to pay taxes, not me, I pay my taxes, but the failure for a lot of people to pay taxes is going to be at an all-time high.
Yep.
right now. It's going to
They
be.
should have told me that shit. There was tax day yesterday.
I wrote a nice check.
We
I wrote a nice
We're the
check.
first ones they come for. Who
Right.
do you think is the most recent U.S. president to enact a significant increase in the corporate tax rate?
It's not corporate tax rate.
It's the enforcement. It's not the rate. Is the issue?
No,
The rate's
he
important.
enacted a significant.
Yo, shout out my man Bernie. Knows
He
what he's
taxed.
talking. Bernie just texted
Well,
me.
either who's the last person
Wait,
that
what?
taxed corporations? Who
Bernie
you think?
just texted
Big Bill.
Who?
Big Bill?
Big Bill.
All right.
You
Right.
know, Big
Hold
Bill
up.
Clinton. And because when you go back and you look at the National Partnership for Reinventing Government, one of the reasons that America was able to have a surplus through that whole time wasn't just because they went through the government and they found a lot of ways. It's because they taxed these rich-ass corporations. In 1993, he signed the Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act, which raised the corporate income tax rate from 34% to 35% for corporations with taxable income over $10 million. This legislative change was part of a broader effort to reduce the federal deficit and marked the last time the statutory corporate tax rate was increased. Big Bill, I don't know why. Fuck Democrat, fuck Republican. I don't know why people.
It's not the corporate tax rate, Charlotte.
What is it then?
Did you just say Bernie Sanders just text you?
Yeah, but like the one we all get.
So what is
Oh,
He's just begging.
it? So if it's not the corporate tax rate, what is it?
It's tax loopholes. So it's like you could make the corporate tax rate whatever you want. What they'll do is they'll take the corporate headquarters and they'll put it in a country that gives them tax incentives. Like I think Ireland was doing this for a little
Ireland's
bit.
Apple is in Ireland.
Yeah, so it's like that should be illegal. Keep the corporate tax rate. Yo, you could make the corporate tax rate 10%, 15%. It don't matter the percentage. Right now it's 0% when they could just take the headquarters and put it in a country where it's zero.
It does matter the percentage though. 35% is a lot.
No,
they hate that shit.
No,
That's why Bill Clinton was the last person to do it.
No, again, that's what I'm saying. I would rather it be lower. Like I'm basically saying to these corporations, yo, let's find a number that we think is fair and payable. And now we're going to close this loophole where you cannot pay it, but we're not going to gouge you at like 40, 50%. We could do 15, but you got to pay it. And we're going to close all the loopholes so you can pay it. And we're going to give you a leeway. We're going to give you a year or two to organize your structure so that you can pay these things without shaking up the stock market and making it looking like your dividends aren't paying out the same that they used to be. We're going to work with you, but you can't not pay because when you don't pay, you're not part of capitalism. That's oligopoly. That's fascism.
Who is the most?
I don't really know what fascism is, but
Not
it
quite
sounds like it.
fascism.
Hold on.
But no, is it what is it called?
Oligarchy. I mean, that's fair. But the question is,
It's a corporatocracy. Is that the idea?
suppose Tim Cook then turns around and says, fine, I'm going to give you your 15%. I'm going to pay it every year. But I got to pass that along to somebody. So
Yeah.
now iPhones are 2,000.
Yeah, I dare you to try that shit. And the free market in a capitalist society will tell you how often I want to buy an iPhone.
Do it with something else other than iPhones. These motherfuckers gonna spend $2,000 on iPhones.
Okay, well, if we're going to spend $2,000 on an iPhone, then we got $2,000. What I think will happen is that people will start going, you know what? I don't need a new iPhone every year. I need one every 2 years. And then you know what you just did? You sold your iPhone for $1,000 a year, which is the same price. So the free market's going to let you know what time it is. And that's why I believe in capitalism. They're
right.
stealing. Let's not call it capitalism.
They're
right. Stealing.
Except for iPhones. These motherfuckers.
I get an
are
iPhone
gonna
once every
buy-
4 years, man.
Yeah,
That's
but
fine,
I
man.
hate
It's
getting
bullshit.
new iPhones, bro.
I don't believe you. Number one.
Oh, no, that's
Right?
the truth.
Me,
That's
deadass,
the
I get a new
truth.
iPhone. You believe me.
When the last time you got an iPhone?
I have a
Chris?
13. When did the 13 come out? And I was late.
I don't even remember.
Yeah,
I was late.
Most
when that
people
came
get
out.
them shit when they drop.
There's no need to.
Bro, I don't do that shit.
I agree with you because there was a time when you did your update on your iPhone, that shit would start fucking up. And you would have to go buy a new one. Okay, listen, the most recent U.S. president to successfully implement measures targeting corporate tax avoidance. Who do you think it was?
The best of what?
The last president who successfully implemented measures targeting corporate tax avoidance. So he closed up the loopholes. Who do you think it was?
I don't believe he closed up the loopholes, but Barack Obama.
Joe Biden.
Well, we know for a fact he didn't. Well, actually, I guess he did. That's why Amazon
The
paid.
Inflation Reduction Act.
How much did Amazon pay last year?
sure.
0. How much
Yes.
does
You're right.
Apple?
No.
It's like, get the fuck out
No,
of
this
here.
is 2022. In August 22, he signed the Inflation Reduction Act and introducing a 15% minimum corporate tax on companies with at least $1 billion in profits.
Can I tell you?
The
can I-
legislation
yeah.
aimed to ensure that large corporations such as Amazon and FedEx, which had previously paid little to no federal taxes, contributed to a fair share of the federal revenue.
But they don't. So then we just proved it because last year
and
they
prior
paid
to that,
0.
it was Obama.
So we just proved last year they paid 0. So we know that they don't do it, but they should do it. And
But got to give Trump props. 2017, Tax Cuts and Jobs Act reduced the corporate tax rate from 35 to 21, but did not effectively close existing loopholes.
Yo, what? Well,
That just makes the problem worse.
Well, when he did actually. So what he did start to do, like Trump did a few things. I don't know if you remember that shit. Like basically there was all these like write-off loopholes that we all used to do where you go, oh, I could, if I work for a company, I could just write off all my meals as part of it. And now like, you have to be the corporation in order to do it. Whereas before you just had to work for the company and then everything you did in your life was a write-off. So they're making little
The write-offs weren't as good as the suck-offs, though.
No, the suck-offs was crazy, bro. It's crazy. I mean, he's known for it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Just as you're fucking putting this shit on your lips.
Yeah, you look like you're preparing.
What?
He's getting ready for us.
What? I'm not joking. You don't know what the suck-offs is?
What's the suck-offs?
I'm not doing it. It's not even...
What's the suck-offs?
Nah, just not even the same. Don't even...
All right. Y'all want to hit these bit, bro?
Hit the ads.
Oh, okay. Let's do some ads, man. Let's do some ads. You want to do Squarespace, Schultz?
Thanks again.
But tax the rich is the moral of the story.
Tax the corporations.
Yes, tax the
I'm
corporations.
paying my share.
Thanks again, everybody at Squarespace.
Maybe
Yo, shout
tax the
out.
billionaires. That's the language.
Tax the corporations. I'm telling you, if you tax the corporations,
billionaires.
you don't even got to worry about the billionaires. They never going to pay taxes.
Yeah.
Warren Buffett already told you to your face. He's like, I don't pay shit. My secretary pays more than me.
Well, tax the billionaire corporations. Because all of them are billionaire corporations.
Well, yeah. Boom, done. Thanks again to Squarespace. It's because these billionaires just pay themselves as a corporation. So they just operate as corporations constantly. So there's not even individuals. They're not even making any income.
No.
Thanks again to Squarespace for supporting this week's episode of the podcast. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just starting out or managing a growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell anything from products to content to time, all in one place, all on your terms. Squarespace Payments is the easiest way to manage your payments in one place with Squarespace. Onboarding is fast and simple. Get started with just a few clicks and start receiving payments right away. Plus, give your customers more ways to pay with popular payment methods like Klarna, ACH Direct Debit, Apple Pay, Afterpay, and ClearPay. Measure your end-to-end online performance with powerful website and seller analytics. Get insights on top traffic sources. Understand how your reach is growing. Track sales, metrics, and learn where to focus new engagement. It's all the data you need to scale your brand or business, fully integrated and clearly displayed. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/idiots to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/idiots to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain now. Guys, this episode has also been brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, who are deeply concerned about the people that are not being compensated fairly by the horrific fires that ravaged Los Angeles, okay? It has been estimated that the damages so far total more than $250 billion. The loss of life is immeasurable, and the state and city are still in shock. There are claims that insurance companies canceled thousands of homeowners' fire policies in the months leading up to the fires. Were those cancellations legal? I would think not. Okay, could this catastrophe have been avoided? I would think yes. Was the city prepared? Seems like it wasn't. How will the people recover all that their families have lost? Will insurance be able to cover the billions in damage? If the wildfires were caused by negligence, someone must be held responsible. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, has helped millions of families in their times of need, just like now. They were there for PG&E wildfire and for the Maui wildfires. And now they're going to be there again to help the families that have been affected by the Los Angeles wildfires. So if you or someone you know has lost a loved one, a home, a business property because of the California wildfires, you can check out Morgan & Morgan today. For more information, go to CaliWildfireLawsuit.com/idiots. Okay, that is CALI wildfirelawsuit.com/idiots to learn more. This is a paid advertisement for Morgan & Morgan. Now let's get back to the show.
Church announcements, Hezzy. What you got?
I want everybody to go watch Derek Poston. He put out a new comedy piece on Don't Tell Comedy.
Ooh.
Okay?
What's Don't Tell Comedy?
Don't Tell Comedy. This is an amazing platform. They started on YouTube, but they're also on Instagram, TikTok, all the places. But they are privately producing top-level comedians' content. They're putting it out there. Things are going viral. They're building careers. Don't Tell is fantastic. And Derek Poston, any of you guys came and saw Infamous, any of you guys came and saw Life, he is the host of both of those tours. He's absolutely fucking hilarious. He is family. This is not just a friend. This is not just a colleague. I'm telling you, this is family right here. Love you, Derek. He put out this piece. It's absolutely absolutely phenomenal. It's on Don't Tell right now. Go watch it. Go watch it. Go watch it. Go watch it. And then leave comments. Let everybody know the Brilliant Idiots are coming out there. Let's blow him the fuck up. Derek Poston. I think the title of it is How to End Racism. And go check it out right now.
Salute to Derek, man. Go check that out. My church announcement is simple. Saturday, April 26th, Black Effect Podcast Festival, the 3rd annual Black Effect Podcast Festival is happening in Atlanta, Georgia. Some amazing podcasts going to be on that stage. The Trap Nerds podcast for all the gamers out there. Good Moms, Bad Choices for all the moms who still want to have a life too. Carrie Champion is going to be out there with the Naked podcast. R&B Money podcast, Tank and Jay Valentine. They out here smoking shit. They going to be on that podcast stage. And Sarah Jakes Roberts will be on that podcast stage as well. And just added, the good brother Cam Newton will be doing his Funky Friday podcast live on stage at the 3rd annual Black Effect Podcast Festival. So go get your tickets, blackeffect.com/podcast festival. You know we're going to have the food trucks. You know we're going to have the Black Effect Marketplace. You know we're going to have all of the merch. We're going to have the Nissan Pitch Your Podcast activation out there for everybody who's always trying to pitch a new podcast to Black Effect. So we'll see you Saturday, April 26th. A couple of weeks, actually. Next week. Yeah, next week, Saturday.
Weekend after this.
Weekend after this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, weekend after this. Yeah, because this will be this weekend, then next weekend. Yeah. Yo, so not this weekend, next weekend. Saturday, April 26th. We'll see you in Atlanta. And I also want to shout out Don Staley. You know, the University of South Carolina, we weren't able to bring home the women's basketball championship this year, but Don's book, Uncommon Favor, will be out May 20th via Black Privilege Publishing, Simon & Schuster. You can go pre-order it right now wherever you buy books. Salute to the icon living Don Staley.
Is she doing a tour?
Absolutely, Don is doing a tour.
Is she coming to the New York City metro area?
Yes, she will be in the New York City
Can I
metro
bring
area.
my daughter who's very into college basketball and get a photo op? Can we arrange that?
Yeah. We can even do it at a more intimate place
All right.
than the book signing. Yeah, absolutely. Don will definitely be in the city when her book drops.
Nice.
Absolutely. What else we got, Taylor? What we got?
Yeah, I even over here.
You got what?
Oh,
Do the Miss Netta lookalike. This is, I thought it was common knowledge that Shannon Sharpe and Miss Netta have a resemblance. And by the way, that's more of an insult to Miss Netta.
Who's Miss Netta?
Okay, look at that picture. You tell me who's Miss Netta. Look at that picture. There's 3 people up there.
Listen,
It's Funny Marco, Shannon Sharpe, and Miss Netta. Who's Miss Netta?
I just got out the doghouse, bro.
What? What?
I just
I'm
got
just
out the
asking you simple
doghouse.
questions have nothing to do with race.
I think that Miss Netta is in the middle.
That's Miss. You're right.
All right.
What's wrong with that? That's a clear guess. You should know what Funny Marco looks like,
I know Funny Marco.
and you should know what Shannon Sharpe looks like.
I know Shannon.
But do you not see where Miss Netta and Shannon Sharpe could be related?
Not at all. Not even. Not Jesus Christ.
Okay, yeah. See, Jesus won't even let you lie without mentioning. You know what I'm saying? Jesus won't even let you lie without mentioning his name. Jesus said, "I blessed you with all of this, and you're just gonna lie."
You know my heart.
we all look like siblings.
You know my heart, man.
Funny Marco don't look like none of them.
Yeah, funny.
That's
Who's
the
Miss Netta?
youngest.
I don't know Miss Netta's claim to fame. I just know her from the internet. What does Miss Netta do, Taylor? I really don't know.
See, all I know is that she was in a relationship with some guy and they just got famous because I forgot what they used to say to each other.
I don't know. But yeah, shout out to Miss Netta. What is this? Why did it say Funny Marco and Shannon Sharpe class? Just because people are upset? Like, who? I did see some of this.
Anybody ever
Shout
told
out
you look like
Ocho,
Miss
man.
Netta? They do sometimes. I
Yeah,
don't
look
get
at
up.
Ocho,
It used to
man.
bother me, but guess what? It don't stop them checks from coming in, and it don't stop them young ones from opening up.
What?
Hey, Shannon got to stop.
Yeah.
Yo, Shannon got to stop saying that, bro.
That's crazy.
I know he don't get. I understand what he means, but you gotta be specific, bro. Like you can't just say shit like that.
Kendrick writing something right now.
You know what I'm saying?
Kendrick
Won't
writing
stop these
something
young ones, bro.
right now.
You can't do that, Shannon. You can't just say.
Shannon.
Taylor, how does that sound as a woman? Be honest with you now.
Listen, he's a 50-something-year-old man. Right?
Yes.
So it's different. Young to him is 35.
I know this. I'm just telling you
that's-
how it sounds.
I know. We just got to make sure that everybody knows he means 35, maybe 37.
Let's hope.
No, we're not doing that to Shay Shay.
No,
I'm just
come
telling you how
on.
it sounds.
Yeah, we're looking out for Uncle Shay Shay.
That's all it is. It just
But why
don't
is he
sound
trying
right.
so hard to be young? Like, just be.
He's not. He's enjoying
him
his
saying
life.
The young ones, like, I just feel like he be trying to.
He can't slang dick. Why can't he slang it?
We all heard it.
Y'all ready to hear the rest?
No, I don't even want to hear no more. I've had it.
No, but
Taylor's a mom, yo. You're such a mom now.
Who got
Taylor,
mad?
you're such a mom, dude.
Jay, look.
Let me hear it.
More like Miss Netta to me with that skin, that acting. Now that you brought it up, you should have left that alone. Put some glasses on. I tell you what, chat. Let's put glasses on him, put glasses on me, and let's turn to the side and let's see who looks like Miss Netta.
It ain't
It's
about
you,
the
Shannon.
acne.
Yes, it is. I'm glad you brought that up. But since you took it there, let's
Ojo
go
got a
there
towel.
now.
See, there we go with
He's
that.
sitting
I
down
doubt we get
podcasting.
aggressive. I'm
I've never
really
seen
scared
that
right
before in my life.
But I said I can sue you right now because I'm on your show and now I feel embarrassed. This is a lawsuit.
What you embarrassed for?
I was Shannon. I don't care how Shannon tried to say this. Marco was absolutely correct.
It was you that you went to the doctor
I'm
and tried
telling
to
you, I'm
look like
on your
Miss
show
Netta.
and it's 20,000 people watching. I'm a little afraid.
Marco's right when he says the acne don't have nothing to do with it. And then Shannon said, I'm gonna put glasses on, you put glasses on, and we're gonna turn to the side and see who will look more like Miss Netta. Who looks more like Miss Netta, y'all? Huh?
Well, who do you think, Charlotte? You seem to be
I
very
said
opinionated.
Shannon Sharpe. It's not even close.
Where's the resemblance that you see it?
The nose, the glasses,
The mannerism.
I don't know about the mannerism.
Damn,
God
Taylor, damn,
All right, move on. See what I'm
Taylor's
saying,
back.
Taylor?
Taylor's
All
back.
I'm saying,
Taylor was mom
nobody
for a
said
second.
no.
Now she's
God
back.
damn it.
She's a demon.
Go, give me some. what
Taylor,
else
you're
you
a
got,
demon.
Taylor? What else you got, Taylor? That was just uncalled for now.
Damn, Taylor.
That didn't make no guy. Why you had to do that?
Unk.
That ain't make no
Unk,
sense.
you know Taylor's hard. She's pregnant. Her brain's not working. You know women's brains shrink when they're pregnant
Yeah.
and never grow back?
That's what happened. That's what happened on that episode of Black Mirror.
What happened?
Remember when she told Tracy Ellis Ross Cagnon she was trying to have a baby? And she was like,
yeah.
"Oh, that's gonna be more then, because women's brains change
They
during
do.
pregnancy.
They get smaller. And you didn't even think it was possible in a lot of ways.
What is this right here, yo?
Oh,
This
come
little
on.
spectrum?
Don't do this.
Oh my God.
Yo, son,
So this is
this guy right here. This guy right here. Every week we gotta do this. Every week we gotta do
This
this.
is Love on the Spectrum?
Every week
I
we
mean,
gotta do
technically
this.
they're on the spectrum though. So
Are they?
You've seen the show Love on the Spectrum, right?
but
Son,
this isn't
is
love
not,
on.
they're not on the spectrum.
This isn't love.
This is not on the spectrum
This
at
is
all.
love- this
You don't
isn't-
even know what the fuck the
This isn't
spectrum
called
is.
Love on the Spectrum though. This is about
What is
his
it?
name?
What is the name of the show?
They're both
It's
they're both in
Pamela
wheelchairs.
and Ray, I feel like. Oh, Jay, sorry.
What network
Pamela
is
and
it?
Jay. This is TLC.
Okay, and
And
what's the
so
name of
this
the
is
show?
Pamela and Jay.
But
Pamela and
they're
Jay?
not on the spectrum. They're both in
So-
wheelchairs. That's completely
No,
different.
listen, you'll see. You'll see. Okay, so basically, it's about their love life. But as you see, they're in wheelchairs and all that. So this is just a clip.
And that's the
that-
best name for the show, is just their names?
Maybe it's called something else, but okay, exactly. Okay, hold on. Let me just have y'all
Oh,
hear
I
the
saw your
clip.
post.
What post?
Can't wait to get to know you.
Dirty, 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 dirty.
Hold on. You ain't set this up right, Taylor. Okay, so hold on.
So in the clip,
So
she
so
feels
what's
the
her
type
name?
of way.
What's her name?
Pamela. She's
Pamela's confronting who?
Nah, bro.
her I guess fiance now, Jay.
Pamela's confronting Jay about
About
something that
liking a
happened in the
picture.
gym. He liked the picture.
Yeah, but so it's
But he's
his,
in the picture though.
Yes, that's his trainer. So she was mad that he commented saying, "Can't wait to get to know you." So she's feeling a little jealous.
Okay, all right. Sorry from the beginning.
All right. hold
We
on.
not mature though.
I am.
Taylor, can I send you something to pull up afterwards? Go.
Just text it to me.
Oh,
Press
I saw
play.
your post.
What post?
Can't wait to get to know you.
She took her glove off.
Dirty, 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 dirty love.
You're the new trainer.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
Well, because after my first session, I'm going to be going there, more. So I'm going to have to get to know her.
And then you didn't tell me she was a woman.
Okay.
My last serious relationship before Jay, the breakup was painful because my ex-boyfriend started dating one of my best friends. Now that we're planning for the wedding.
Talk that
it's
talk,
like,
Pamela.
I don't know. I feel very vulnerable and very protective of Jay.
She took that glove
You
off. I'm
should
gonna
have
slap the
told me.
shit out you.
That she's a woman?
Yes.
It's not her fault.
Why are you laughing?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's not funny. Are you lying about something?
no.
Jay is like laughing it off, and I understand that he has autism, but at the same time, I've had just really messed up experiences with cheating, and him not taking it serious can be triggering.
She's just a trainer. Like, she just,
But you're laughing when I'm
What
coming
does
up with
autism got
these
to do with
concerns.
it?
yeah, I mean, I don't think it's funny. It's an uncomfortable, like, situation. So it's like,
Why? Because you did something more than training?
Yo, talk that talk, Pamela. Pamela took her glove off to let Jay know
She
I
gonna
will
slap the
slap
shit
the
out
shit out you. Jay was like, yo, I need to grow a beard right now, okay, to have some cushion. So when I get slapped, okay, that's what that was about. Jay was like, yo, I gotta grow a beard right fucking now so I can have some cushion for when Pamela slaps the shit
Yo,
out of me.
that joke is that sucks. That joke sucks, dude. That joke is not funny.
I'm just telling
that
you.
joke is not funny.
I'm just telling you, I watched that shit in real time.
There's no Latinas present.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I need to start watching this show. When did this show start?
I think they're in like their third season or
Thank
something
you
like
for
that.
putting me on. I am watching this show, yo.
Go to the things I just
I
sent
don't like
you.
the name, no. Jay and Pamela need to
Go to
have
the
a little
first
bit
one
more
I
like-
sent you. I sent on Instagram. I forwarded it to Instagram.
Okay.
But you can get it up on your screen too?
Yeah.
Okay. This is my favorite type of...
First one?
The first one I sent you is the earliest one.
Okay.
So not the last one is the earliest one. And then you could play all three. But this is my favorite type of content that I've seen on Instagram. It's a new form of presenting content. You need volume. Make sure you have volume. And then
This is the...
it's just, this is my favorite type of new form of content. It's a thing that people are doing. And I think that you'll appreciate it.
Shout out to Jay and Pamela, man.
Yo.
TLC, y'all always ahead of the curve. I just don't like the name.
Yeah, because it could be more. What would you?
Yeah.
How would you name the show?
I don't know. Rolling, no, something like that. It would be something with rolling in it. You know what I'm saying? Rolling Love. Fuck Rolling Loud. Rolling Love would be the name of my title.
Okay.
Rolling Love.
I like
You know what I'm
that.
saying? Rolling
Yeah.
Love would be the name of the show for me. Like Jay and Pamela is just like, it don't give me really the essence of what this show is. You know what I mean?
Can't you
You know?
just get it up on Instagram since it's on your
Rolling
computer?
Love, Four Wheel Love.
Aren't you
Four-Wheel
on your
Love is
Instagram
crazy.
right now?
You don't think Four Wheel Love would hit?
Four Wheel Love would be fire.
You don't think it's a car show though?
Well,
Nah, because
I mean,
it's just
kinda.
four wheels because it's two
part.
wheels on both wheelchairs.
isn't it part? This part car show, right?
You guys
It's not.
You guys got
No, that's dope.
It's not.
It is.
It's a little car show.
It is a little bit of a car show, yo. Just a tad,
It's
right?
car show and romance. I just texted you.
It's not.
You don't think it's a
All
little
right, we
bit
need
of a-
volume. No, hit the volume. I need volume. Make sure volume is on first. All right, now go. This is my favorite.
Oh shit.
Wait for it.
Oh my God. Somebody said she from Largentina. Stop the hate, please. Yo, that's funny. Yo. Somebody said stop the hate, please. She's already got enough on her plate.
Yo. Okay.
Whoa.
Listen,
Hold it down.
guys,
Send the next one. Send the next one I just sent you.
Guys,
You want me to text them to you? What's
guys,
easier, if I text them
guys,
No, no.
I am not mature enough to have this.
to you? Yo.
Fat jokes will always get
This
me,
is,
bro.
and I need you to make it real big, the screen, like zoom in so we can see.
If the screen wasn't already big enough?
Yo, stop it, son.
Huh?
Stop it. Stop it.
Listen,
Stop.
so what just happened was, because people say they hate when we watch videos,
Yeah.
what
But
happened
all
was...
the way, zoom in, all the way, like go to make the screen. Go back. Make sure that audio
Oh, so
on.
she didn't do that.
No, the people did it. Those are comments on something she posted, and it went viral. And this is the comment section. So what they do is the music to build it up. All right, here's another one. I knew you would love this one. All right, ready? Go.
Staff number, I have an
How many people she slept with?
That's good.
Not how many you've eaten. Man, this is so stupid. 50 to 60 BMI. 50 to 60% risk for heart attack. I'm gonna be honest with you, this is cruel, yo. This is fucking
But when you're
cruel.
by yourself taking a shit and that pops up, bro.
Man.
Yo, when it goes dark and then you just hear,
That is great.
You know the easiest way to not be fat shamed?
Yeah.
To not be fat.
yo, hey, listen, you got to start the video over though, Taylor. We need to hear every line of it.
Okay.
And then you just
Is
zoom
fat
in.
jokes the first jokes we learned how to tell? Your mama's so fat.
Oh, 1,000%.
Had to be, right?
All right, go back a little bit.
God damn. Man, I need to get a burner. I need a burner so I can start leaving comments, man. Oh my God, not the job out of Hut meme. She ate everything on the menu, including the menu and democracy. I was at the table, but she ate it, so I had to leave. She ate the table and the menu. Jesus Christ, she is the seat. God damn. Hell, she isn't going to take a seat at the table. She takes the whole side of the table. I am on the menu, so eat me. She has definitely eaten a lot of things at the table. God damn. Oh God, not the fucking shampoo.
Oh, man, no.
Now, honestly.
Why is this fat so funny?
Son,
though?
this is
Why is it making? Why is
Yo,
it,
when I see it, it's because they're posted themselves. Oh, you go.
Being fat isn't funny.
Nah, it's not.
The jokes people make about being fat are funny.
Man, that's a great distinction. That's a
Okay?
brilliant idiot
That's
shit
what
right
you're not
there,
thinking
yo.
about, Taylor.
That's a
Being
brilliant
fat
idiot
is
shit.
not funny. I don't want any people that listen to us who are fat. We got a lot of fat listeners, and I love them, and I appreciate them. Being fat is not funny. It's the jokes people make about being fat. And you know who makes the best fat jokes? Fat people about themselves.
Probably fat people that did that.
I'm telling you, you think this is them. You don't.
Probably
You think
fat people about
you think
that.
people are really sitting around making these memes? They're doing this to go viral.
How you need to be genius to think Largentina? She's from Largentina?
Crazy.
That's unbelievable.
I know, that's great.
We've been kind of throwing those out. I've been said large
Largentina?
Angeles, large Vegas.
Really?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the easy. That's what little.
Probably got to burn it up. Sure, you know what you
But there's like Newport City, if you're in the Bronx. What? You know what I'm saying? We from the Bronx, Newport. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Staten Island, Newport. Like you know where the big ones are at.
Yeah.
Right?
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
But this form of content?
Yeah, that's
Hilarious. Hilarious. Why don't I have a burner?
Yo, you need a burner. What is that?
participate.
What is that? That's the Purge, right? That's the Purge music?
Think so.
kind of.
Yeah, I think
Bro, if you
so.
take that music from us,
Purge or
The binge.
Godzilla or something like that.
take the music from us and put that shit under any Candace Owens video, it is the most terrifying shit. You know the music from us where they flipped I Got
Yup.
Five on? You take that music and put it under any Candace Owens video, it is the most terrifying shit you've ever heard.
I am telling you guys, what is happening right now is insane. Right? They are trying to infringe upon our speech that are getting very dark and very creepy. Where are all of those free speech people who grifted off of free speech and who won't say anything? This current administration, is taking a turn that is quite dark. It is not what we signed up for. Suddenly, there is this squeeze on speech only as it pertains to the special topic of Israel.
Son, Candace responded to something that me and Theo said, but
About being afraid of her?
I didn't know it was about being afraid of her. It was just like I saw this from Andrew Schulz. My heart sunk. My heart sunk. I almost called my wife. I go, sell everything. I go, I don't know what I did, but Candace about to convince a lot of people that I did it.
Listen. Candace,
She is not to be played with.
Because you don't know what Candace might pull out.
Yo.
Candace be doing some digging, bro.
Let me tell you something. Keep Six Solid. Keep Six Solid posted this somewhere. It was on Twitter, I think. You know, Keep Six Solid, the Instagram account.
Yeah.
Keep Six
One of
Solid
Drake's dick
posted.
riders.
Yo, nah. That dude is real, bro.
You know him?
Yeah. That's
You know him as a human?
I know his brother. His brother was in
okay.
Australia, came out to the show, and I messaged him. But so he posted this shit. He goes, if Candace looks into the Drake UMG shit, it's over for everybody. Wait a minute, you eye roll. But think about it. If she was interested in it, you don't think?
I done told y'all a million times. The only thing you're gonna find in that shit is it's literally like anybody from the 90s, early 2000s who played baseball calling somebody out for PEDs.
Yo, Charlamagne, she found out that the president of France married a man.
Was that proven?
It's proven by Candace.
Did we see the dick? I can't say nobody's a man unless I see the dick, yo.
But it doesn't make you a man, you fucking bigot.
Let's pay some bills, Taylor. Let's pay some bills. This is crazy. Okay, there's about 3 things I could take from this clip and make everybody believe Andrew is a straight fucking liberal. Okay,
I'm a liberal.
No, I'm not nothing.
I'm surrounded by conservatives. Yeah.
I don't want to be nothing anymore.
I just see you on Fox News all the time. That's
it is crazy, right? What the fuck is going on? I fuck with Fox. I watch Fox every night. There is nothing. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. If you want to be entertained, put goddamn Jesse Waters on. Yeah, I was watching Hannity and Stephen A. go at it last night. But I like to see all sides. I'll watch CNN to see what they're saying about a topic and how they're covering it, and then I'll turn to Fox and watch the same thing. And I have the ability to not be influenced by either. I've just taken the information.
That guy on Scott Jennings on CNN cracks me up. He was talking about the deportations, and he goes, I got some new rules. You spend more than 15 seconds at the milk part of the coffee shop, El Salvador.
More than 15 seconds at the coffee creamer bar at the coffee shop, straight to El Salvador. 2 or more walking side by side on a sidewalk, you're gone, El Salvador. Recline your seat on an airplane, El Salvador. Disney adults, you're going too. And finally, pronouns in your email signature. Out of here. Those are my EOs.
Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm so confused about the El Salvador shit. Because if you watch CNN and MSNBC, they tell you one thing about this guy.
Then the president of El Salvador comes on. He's like, "Yo, he's not coming back."
Yeah, the dude from outside, the president of El Salvador was like, "He is a criminal. He was here illegally."
How can I return him to the United States? Like, I smuggle him into the United States, or what do I do? Of course, I'm not going to do it. It's like, the question is preposterous. How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
So this court document was going around Twitter. Take it with a grain of salt, but it was said that he was seeking asylum in America because his rival gang in El Salvador wanted to kill him. And it's like, that's the cost you got to pay for being in a gang.
Hey, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know what's true and what's not true. I'm just looking at all the conversation around this guy, and I really don't know what the issue is, because was he here illegally? I don't know.
If the president of El Salvador...
Was he a member of a gang, MS-13? I don't know.
But at what point are we at now if the president of El Salvador says he is not from America and we're not sending him back? He actually said it even more fire. He goes, I cannot physically smuggle an El Salvadorian into America.
Yeah, he said he can't ship back did he say terrorist?
He said smuggle.
Terrorist? Yeah, he said
because it would be illegal to bring him
I can't smuggle a terrorist back to America. I really don't know. Chris, what do you think of that situation? I really don't know what the fuck is going on.
It's not about this individual. It's about the ability of Trump to lock up people that he wants to lock up going against court orders.
I agree with that. But is this the case to use? The court, because I don't know if this guy was here illegally.
He was here.
Because if you're defying court orders because you're saying this guy was a gang member, he was here illegally.
The lower level court said you must effectuate his return.
Okay.
Right? The difference and the reason that Trump, I believe wrongly, is claiming that they won is because the Supreme Court said, I believe the terminology was, you must facilitate. So what they're saying is, hey, if this guy shows up at the United States, we'll let him back in. It's not on us to
send him a
bring
plane.
him to the States.
Yeah.
To me, it's about a much larger thing. It's about what you're seeing with this guy who was part of Trump's administration, who tweeted against January 6th and the election claims. Trump's trying to investigate him. Lita James, now Trump is going after her, looking into stuff. It's about him.
You knew that was coming, though.
I know, but it's about him weaponizing the court system. It's about him not responding to the court's rulings. It's about him taking control. I think it's very
dangerous. Do you think the Democrats did that as well when they were in power? Not saying two wrongs make a right, but do you think that that's something that did happen?
Well, I think the difference is the things that, with the exception of January 6th, because there's no precedent for that, I think the things Trump was charged with are things that he's been charged with in other settings or accused of in other settings.
By the way, it's going to be typical political hypocrisy because, yes, you did push back. You did say Democrats weaponized the DOJ, and now Republicans are going to do the same thing. Like, you know that.
So that's my only thing is, like, let's cry about it both times, not when it happens to the group that we support.
Suppose one of them, the person's guilty.
Well, was he guilty?
Both of them are probably guilty.
Was he peeing on the Russian girls? Like with the whole Russiagate shit. You know it was bullshit. Everybody knew it was bullshit.
I don't think Russiagate was bullshit. I don't know if he's
want to know
peeing
if
on
this guy
anybody.
is illegal or not. That's what I want to know.
Yes, he's illegal.
Is he though? I don't know. I really don't know.
No,
he's illegal and he's a gang member. And there was no evidence offered to refute that he wasn't a gang member. Do you want me to read
the gang member thing? I didn't, there's another version of it where his family owned a business that was targeted by gangs. Didn't say he was part of the gangs that he had to leave.
I really don't know.
I just think this
although the court is reluctant to give evidentiary weight to the respondent's clothing as an indication of a gang affiliation, the fact that a past proven and reliable source of information verified the respondent's gang membership, rank, and gang name is sufficient to support that the respondent is a gang member, and the respondent has failed to present evidence to rebut that assertion. That is the court document.
By the way, that was a very weak argument by Jesse Waters. Jesse, you're usually better than that. Jesse said that it's because he was wearing Chicago Bulls gear that he's a member of MS-13, and he was like, the Bulls didn't have a successful season last year. Like, you're not from Chicago. I'm like, come on, stop it, Jesse. Like, it's the Bulls. I didn't know the Bulls were symbolism for MS-13.
Yeah, I didn't either. But I think this is just a really dumb case for the Dems to put so much weight on. Because, like, now there's, like, some Democrats that are going to El Salvador to try to get him back, and I'm like, this isn't the one you fight.
It's a dumb case if he is actually a citizen of America. I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
No, he's 100% not a citizen.
He's definitely not a citizen.
Definitely, and he's going to claim asylum, and they're going to find out that he is a gang member, and he has been a gang member. It's going to be bullshit, and the Democrats are going to look retarded. I think Alex's point, this is playing right into the Republican handbook. It's like you're playing right into, literally the fucking president of El Salvador was like, yo, you got it wrong. Once the president of the country says you got it wrong, this is where you back off, and then you lock into certain things that make a lot more sense.
Because the original story was they were rounding people up, and they rounded up somebody who was not a gang member, and they sent him over, but now they're saying otherwise. I don't know what the real story is all I'm simply saying.
Listen, it sucks. Actually, I don't know. If he's a gang member, it doesn't suck. It's like, we don't need more gang members coming over here. Like, also, if you're a gang member here and you come over to seek asylum because the rival gang want to get after you, it's like, yo, you chose up, bro. It's like, imagine Bloods are like, yo, the Crips are coming after me. I need you to give me protection. It's like, well, that's not how it works.
You're right.
You chose up.
The other thing that people are not paying attention to is, to Chris's point, this is what people, are. What did you say, Chris? You said people are going to assume this is something larger. He actually said that. Like, if you want to debate something, debate that Trump said he would actually send U.S. citizens to El Salvador. Debate that.
Yeah.
As opposed to debating, this situation. Am I tripping?
You're not tripping.
Not at all. I mean, I was talking on the way over here with a friend, I guess former Democrat, who's furious with the Democratic Party. They're not doing anything. They're not doing enough. They're laying down. I was like, but then, and I understand what you're saying. Why put all your chips in with a guy who might be guilty?
I just read the court doc. Like, how much more evidence?
Well, it's based on the testimony of someone who's a witness. We don't know who he is. I mean, it's within this context of everybody being forced to be part of a gang potentially in that country, whatever.
Regardless, the determination of the respondent is a gang member, and it appears to be trustworthy and is supported by other evidence in the record.
So why did the Supreme Court vote 9-0 to bring him back?
Namely, information contained in the gang field interview sheet.
But listen, why did the Supreme Court vote 9-0 to bring him back?
I think it was maybe on the...
9-0 is very rare for the
Maybe it was
Supreme
on the
Court.
case of seeking asylum, but it's like... Well,
because technically whatever type of residency he had, was backed up by the court, right? But my point is, everyone's like, and I agree, like this on the surface of it doesn't seem like a smart thing to throw all your weight behind, right? But Trump is constantly trying to see what he can get away with. And with that in mind, I don't want to support a fucking guy from a foreign gang that's in this country running from another foreign gang. I don't want to get behind that, but I got to stop this guy because I know he doesn't give a shit about it either. He's trying to see if he gets away with this, the next step will be natural, U.S. citizens getting sent out.
Will it be though?
Yes.
I'm just asking. I don't know.
Yes.
I'm telling you, these words did come out of Trump's mouth, so that's a fair thing to debate. But will this case lead to that if they actually are right?
There are 4 more steps in between this and that.
Yeah, so
he's delusional. It's like
no, but so the thing is,
not delusional
the
at all.
case was still open, like the case of proving whether or not he was a gang member.
Yeah.
That's still open. So that's why the court said deporting him was illegal because he still has due process.
Oh, okay.
But he's here. But he's here illegally, so you actually don't get due process. You're here illegally. You broke the law by being here. And if he is connected to a gang unit, the gang has been deemed a terrorist unit, and you're not allowed to be here if you're part of a terrorist organization.
That makes sense too.
Like, why are we even spending time on this? Like,
I just told you why.
No,
because
I
of
know,
what could happen.
But you're worried about the slippery slope thing, and you're like, Trump is seeing if he can get away. You think Trump even knows this motherfucker's name, bro? He don't even know his motherfucker's name.
So
that's my whole point.
He actually was here legally. He came here at 16, got legal protection in 2019 to stay because of the dangerous situation in El Salvador. So he was technically here legally.
I don't know.
So he was here illegally.
Legally.
I think the conversation should be. I would.
But you can't be here legally if you're part of a gang.
I would focus on these words from Donald Trump. Homegrowns are next. Trump hopes to deport and jail U.S. citizens abroad. That to me is more something that everybody should be debating and asking why the hell would he say that, as opposed to this.
Yo, you break
case.
the law, man. Hey, man. Sometimes you got to go to San Quentin. Sometimes you got to go to El Salvador.
No.
No.
Send him to Greenland. Send him to Greenland.
No, I mean, no. And I thought about this when I heard him say it. Will that deter people from committing crimes? Like when you know the consequences and penalties are up here.
Yo, son,
but also too, why are we wiping our ass with the Constitution?
You got to look into El Salvador. El Salvador was the most murderous and dangerous place in the Western Hemisphere. It is now the safest place in the Western Hemisphere because they started locking up these fucking criminals that are terrorizing normal, hardworking people's lives. And if you ask the people over there if they appreciate that effort, they are incredibly grateful because they were held hostage by those criminal organizations.
Sure, but what they got to do with sending American citizens over there?
They seem to know what to do with them. Yo, if you
I hope you're being hype about it.
I like people who obey the law.
But we have prisons here.
We need more. Lock them up. Lock them up.
I think we need taxpayers.
If you spend more than 15 seconds at the milk bar, at the coffee shop, you're going to El Salvador. Shout out Scott Jennings. Put that into effect now.
We need taxpayers to pay their fair share of taxes. Well, we need these corporations to pay their fair share of taxes so we have more resources to put in our communities to try to keep people from being criminals.
Yo, why do criminals get to see with their families when they killed somebody and that person never gets to see their family again?
I'm with you.
If you kill somebody...
But there's a difference between criminals and murderers,
Yeah, that's true. But if you're deemed a murderer and you murder somebody, they don't get to see their family for the rest of their life, but you get visitations every fucking week. Fuck you. You locked up in El Salvador. I don't give a fuck. Why are we not worried about the people's family?
Why El Salvador?
That shit sounds good.
Bro, Staten Island is right there.
I don't want to put that in those nice people with Staten Island.
There's places in America.
You murder somebody.
Hey, San Quentin? Where the fuck is that at?
Cali.
San Quentin ain't no joke. Rikers ain't no motherfucking joke.
Yeah, but Rikers is not a prison.
Anywhere you can get butt.
It's a jail. It's not. What?
Rikers is a prison.
Not jail.
No, it's a jail.
It's like
you still don't want to be there.
No, you don't want to be in any jail.
Like people get killed in Rikers.
But you should have thought about that before you murdered somebody.
I am 100% with you.
Yo, you kill people, you're out of here, bro. China.
I wonder why El Salvador.
I
wonder why he feel like as many prisons in America. Why does he feel like they got to go to El Salvador?
No, it's because El Salvador, because of the rampant crime and the terroristic activity of the cartels out there, they had a stranglehold over the people of the country. In order to rebuke that, they created these massive jail facilities. So they're housing all these people there, and they become incredibly proficient at it. So they're basically, it's almost like outsourcing manufacturing. Instead of making iPhones, we're going to send our criminals over there.
You know what's ruining prisons in America? Social media.
Why? Because they're out there posting and shit?
Yes, you got all of these prisoners that looking like they having a good-ass motherfucking time. We grew up on sodomy. It's true. We grew up on...
That just sounds
We grew up thinking that if you in prison, you getting butt
That was a good deterrent.
Why do you think they called it scared straight? They would scare you.
They
They
right.
scare you.
You're right.
You want to stay straight? You want to stay straight?
Yeah.
Keep your ass out of prison. Because if you go to motherfucking prison, they're going
coming
to make
out.
you a little crooked.
Oh, they're going to make you very
What was
crooked.
that shit you said?
I don't know.
You have to, I'm gonna do it, and you got to decide whether it's. What did you say? What would you say? You had to decide whether it's pay some bills. Let's pay this bill and do some asking.
Not like this
listen, the
conversation.
callbacks.
He's been kicking.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with callbacks.
Oh, callbacks are beautiful.
fantastic.
It's beautiful.
Fantastic.
This is
You know,
comedy.
That's right.
This is called comedy.
That's right. Callbacks are great. What we got for some Asking Idiots, Taylor Gang? Taylor Gang. Taylor Hayes, Patrick's mama, PJ's mama. Mr_A says, if you could control any animal species, what would it be and why? Easy call for me.
White people?
Nah, cows.
Oh, why?
Whenever a fat person will walk by, I just have them go, moo. You know what I'm saying? If you could just have a fat person walk by a cow and just the whole cattle account just start going, moo, moo, moo. Oh, that would be fantastic.
That's the only reason.
That's the only reason. What other reason would you need?
I hate you.
What other reason?
Wouldn't you want some sea animals? Because don't you say aliens are in the water?
Yo, y'all don't care about aliens. The CIA just declassified documents that said that motherfucking the aliens turned 27 Soviet soldiers to stone. By the way, this ain't just the CIA. It was the KGB who said it, and then the CIA got it from the KGB. So these are reputable people from all over the world saying this, and we like, fuck it.
If there's no picture, I don't believe.
There was pictures.
Oh, there was pictures.
Yeah, there's pictures. Y'all don't give a fuck.
Next question.
They don't give a fuck. What is Andrew's most memorable set aside from his first one? That's from Soy. So what is that?
Soy Alejandro Way.
Yes.
I mean, Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden. First night, Madison Square Garden. I mean, it's just like, yeah, thought about that for 17 years. So
17 fucking years. What else we got, Taylor? I don't want to do that one. Let's see. Jeremiah J. Thomas says, which do you keep longer, socks with holes or underwear with holes? Oh, both. Nobody cares. Like, I'm a man, bro. Like, I don't.
Nah.
My wife got to throw shit out.
Nah.
You want cancer shit? That's just annoying.
Socks with holes. Underwear with holes is crazy. Bro, I got holes where I think I scratched through the underwear. Like, I found holes in the doodle area, and I think it's just from me scratching my ass. Like, there's holes in my underwear. It looks like I got raped.
Probably the washing machine or nothing.
Maybe it is, but directly where my doodle comes out, my finger goes in.
There's nothing more humbling than white briefs.
Oh, God.
I had on some ethical white briefs the other day.
Oh, God.
And it ain't got nothing to do with shit. It's just, I don't know what the fuck be going on down there.
Why would they even make that?
That shit don't make no sense. I'm like, you know what?
Nah.
I don't need to wear no white underwear at all whatsoever. The ball sweat and everything. You looking down, you like, what the fuck is going on? It's like a woman with discharge.
Charlie Marciano said, what game or tradition from the 90s do you think that we should bring back? Oh, Charlamagne, what do you think?
Everything, man. The 90s was so pure. The 90s is where we just learned how to be. You know what I'm saying? Like when we have these conversations about, you know, tough skin or not being offended and everything, I think it's because when you woke up in the 90s, you were prepared for whatever. You think about all the nasty shit we used to do in the 90s. You remember that game? I don't know if y'all used to play it up here, but it was like a game they used to play, and they'll be like, you know, I forgot how it used to go, but he'd be like, what do you want when you grow up? And you answer another thing. And then he'd be like, I want a pool. Like you have your hand out and somebody was spitting your hand. You know the shit I'm talking about?
What?
No.
It was
I
some
thought at first you
game.
talking about MASH.
No, it was MASH.
That was like that.
Mash this dick in your mouth. The alley-oop. Bow. The alley-oop. Bow. That was an alley-oop. Bow.
Fucked up. There was no need for that. Why did you do like, did I do that?
We caught him,
Y'all
Taylor.
never play MASH where it's
I don't
like
even want to play with you no more right now.
MASH up for like mansion, apartment, shack, or House or something like that. Yeah, you never
I
played
think that's
that?
it. It was something
Don't
like
spit
that.
in your hand though.
I promise you have to stick out both of your hands
Nah,
and you
you're
would say
crazy.
stuff.
You're
And I
crazy.
remember the guy spit in my hand. I got mad as fuck. He's like, no, that's the game. That's the game.
El Salvador. El
Why
Salvador.
would
If someone spits in your hand, they going to El Salvador.
You remember, and you know what's so funny? I was watching The Wood the other day, and I was like, damn, yo.
Bet you were.
I never played that. But you remember the game, the game when they used to dare you to go grab a girl's butt?
No.
You guys never played that?
Edit.
No.
That's not an edit. That's from The Wood. You ever seen the movie? That was an actual game. But you ever seen the movie The
definitely
Wood?
used to do that all the time.
That's crazy. You shouldn't do that.
No, you shouldn't do it.
I know the game where like you fart, you got to say safety before your friends say doorknob, and then they could punch you until you touch a doorknob.
Damn.
What?
That game was fantastic.
Punch buggy. That used
Punch
to be
buggy,
shit.
fantastic.
Yeah, you know what? The 90s was the 90s. You was either there or you wasn't.
Oh, slap boxing, incredible.
Yeah, if you could fight.
Yeah,
if you
if you
couldn't
couldn't
actually
fight,
box, you didn't
that's
want no
rough.
parts of that shit.
That's rough.
You know what the 90s was really about? Doing what you say you did. Y'all like to say y'all standing on business, but we would dare people to do dumb shit, and then they would actually do it.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that shit the other day when, you know what? Never mind. I'm tired
Did
of
you play hide and go hit?
Hide and go what?
Hide and go hit or something like
What's
that?
that?
What?
It was like hide and seek, but like when you found, it was like boys and girls. You found the girl, then y'all did something together.
That's some Philly
What if you
shit. right?
found a wrong
First of
girl?
all, that's not. First of all, you know.
I didn't. No, listen, I didn't
This
do
is the
that.
perfect. Taylor, I am glad you.
I didn't do that.
Taylor, I am glad you brought that up because this is Easter weekend. And that is the story of Easter. I've told y'all this story a million times. The story of Easter was there used to be a group of people who used to paint themselves different colors, right? They would paint themselves different colors, and then they would play hide and go fuck.
Yo,
And
that's-
whoever you found, you fucked them. Y'all would fuck. So if a man found a man, they would have sex. If a woman found a woman, they would have sex. If a man and a woman have sex, they would have sex. That's why the tradition of the Easter eggs is to paint the eggs. That's why it's a bunny, because bunnies represent sexuality, right? That's why Playboy's symbol is a bunny. This is a fact.
Guys, if you think
Ask
that we're
ChatGPT.
brilliant, you're
Oh, we got one more.
absolutely
We got
right.
one more.
Why'd
Okay.
they paint themselves? What's the painting part?
I don't know.
For entertainment.
Why do you paint your nails? And
One
then go
more.
out and then, and go seek
Go.
women to have sex.
Go.
There's one for you about
You
the
got a
nail
point there.
stuff.
No, I want to go back to the other one. There was another one.
We can avoid
We could
that.
end
We
with
can
the other
avoid
one, Taylor.
Yeah.
This was good. Right there. Alexa Green says, does maturing come with a cost? What is the price of becoming mature? Love that
I
question.
don't even think it's a cost. I think it's a value add.
100%. I think that you should allow yourself to mature. You should allow yourself to evolve. I think when you don't do anything but stunt your own growth. Now, I know y'all come to this podcast and y'all hear us say we're not mature enough to have certain conversations. We are. But what you need to understand about a podcast like Brilliant Idiots is this is where we come to have a little bit of immature fun. But in our personal lives, really, I mean, not even just in our personal, y'all see it in our professional life too.
Very
We have
mature, very
allowed
responsible.
ourselves to mature. So does maturing come with a cost? Anything you lose from maturing, you've outgrown anyway.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said.
That's it. As always, if you listen to this podcast, you think we're smart, you think we're intelligent, you think we're brilliant, you're absolutely right. But if you listen to this podcast and think we're just a couple idiots who don't know shit, you're right too. It's the Brilliant Idiots Podcast. Thank you for listening.
Peace.